Welcome back to Hitches, Nova's #1 football podcast. Coach Mason, how's it going, buddy?
It's going. I mean, we're here. Here we are. Second verse, same as the first. We were doing God, I mean, I looked at it and I think our preview started about the end of July where we're at right now. Back when we thought nobody was gonna listen to us. We thought it was gonna be us and a bunch of our kids at Woodson leaving troll messages at the bottom of this with our like 10 people watching it.
We made it. Our ship has come in.
It is. Not only that though, we are at as of time of recording.
Right.
482, almost to the magic 500 number.
Approaching 500.
Approaching 500, yeah.
And I did say a couple of shows ago that as we approach 500, if we can somehow, narrow it down to the person who can claim to be the 500th follower, they're going to get, I don't have the mug with me here, but they're going to get the All Hitches mug.
Yeah. And our numbers took off because you and I were keynote speakers. We're giving TED Talks at the Vienna Youth Football Camp. What an impressive camp, huh?
Oh my God! Oh my God! What did I say? Like you said the last episode. First time I met you, I brought up Vienna.
Yep.
Now you see why I brought up Vienna.
Yeah. They look like the small army over there. Look, we walked into the Persian army in 300. Just rows and rows of them, right?
That was an impressive group.
Yeah.
I mean, the 155-pound, the 14-year-olds were walking in. I looked over. I said, "Why are they carrying them?" And you go, "They're not. They're walking." And you got to pay a little homage to Thunder Lips.
Yeah. But what a really great run event, right? I mean, one, really organized. All their coaches were there, coaching up all those kids. I mean, and that's impressive looking kids over there too, man. They had some kids who you can tell Concorde is going to keep on reloading. Those kids keep on going to the Concorde schools, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, people say that youth football is struggling, and I believe that it is in a lot of areas. I'm sure. You know where it's not? In Vienna. It's not in Vienna. I mean, holy smokes, it just grows and multiplies.
Yeah, I mean. They built a tradition of good athletics, right, in that area, and it shows by their two feeder schools, right? I mean,
right.
Oakton's starting to, show resurgence.
Right.
Madison's obviously been the standard for at least the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just impressive all the way around. And
yeah, I mean, talking. Right? Oh yeah, the first class organization. Talking to Coach, to Todd Casey, Coach Casey. The commish, and we said it in the interviews with him back in the winter, right? I mean, Gainesville, right? One of the big boys. He's impressed by Dulles.
Yeah, that's what we heard, right?
Like the Aldi, Loudon community out there. Centreville is always a solid organization. And then Vienna, I think that those are the top. That's the Mount Rushmore right now of youth football in the area.
Yeah, no, but just a great time talking to those kids. I mean. Seeing those kids work hard and seeing those kids having fun and yeah, just a phenomenal event all the way around.
Yeah, no, it was a good time to be able to speak to them, a little pep talk, all that kind of stuff. Only thing that I did, and I was kicking myself. So if any of them are listening, kids, don't forget to eat your vitamins, say your prayers.
Yeah.
Okay, brother. I'm so mad at myself for not telling them to take the vitamins. Again, tip of the cap to the Hulkster. The other thing, afterwards, how about this? Let's get into the after party. So you and I decided to make a little voyage to the famed historic Vienna Inn.
Yeah, I mean, it's an institution over there, right? I looked and I was like, how long the place been around? I looked at the T-shirts they were selling, 1960. How many restaurants make it? So we're in 2025, 65 years.
65 years. Not very many, buddy. Not very many.
I mean, and a nice little local spot, right? Obviously, just a place for locals. Yeah, I mean, it was a good time there.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm sitting there, and you and I talking about the camp we just did, and some of the Vienna coaches were coming in after the camp ended, and some of the parents and kids. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing there's teenagers coming in, there's coaches coming in. I'm like, what are we in Mayberry? or like the Peach Pit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was waiting for Brandon Walsh and Brenda to come in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I can see the allure of Vienna.
Now I'm curious if they show football games there during the season and with all the TVs up. I mean, it's got to be a great place to go and get something to eat and watch football, right, over there.
And Friday nights they're open until midnight.
Yeah.
So after wins in Vienna or wins in Oakton or
Yeah.
in Marshall as well, I guess because Marshall's part of the triangle there, the Vienna Triangle. They probably go over there and celebrate, right? Chili
Yeah.
dogs for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Just good place. Had really good vibes, good service over there.
Yeah,
There were kids working there, and it was a good place though, for sure.
yeah, good stuff. So that was a good evening yesterday, or on Monday night, good time. Yeah, and perfect timing,
Yes, it
right?
was. I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
We were in Concorde territory, my friend.
We were in the heart of the Concord, weren't we?
We were in the heart of the Concorde.
Yeah.
So, well, that's what today's show. We've been waiting. This is why we lifted all those weights. That's why we do all that stuff, and we're finally here
Right.
doing the Concorde fall preview.
Yeah. The first one came out, and it was the first district that gave us all of our questionnaires in, and just first class. We talked about that before in like in the live, right? Just
Yeah, first class.
first class district, and they've been tops of the area for a long time, right? Between the Westfield run and the Madison run over the last 20 plus years, they definitely have been front and center as far as Northern Virginia representing us in the state playoffs, right?
Oh, the creme de la creme, right? I mean, Concorde comes strong, year in, year out. Smaller conference, right, than the rest, but that's about the only thing, right? Everything else is large and in charge. I mean, a big lineman, big running games, big defense. I'm excited to kind of get going here, buddy.
A really physical district, right? Really physical district. I mean, we got a chance to really watch a lot of those teams, and you could argue that Westfield might have been the second best team in the area, considering the fact that their two losses to Madison were by 6 total points.
Right, yeah. I mean, Westfield was right there. You and I said it. I mean, you could really argue that Westfield was maybe one of the best teams in the entire Nova last year, next to Madison. And it's just such a South Lakes, finished at the bottom.
Yeah.
But then a year earlier, South Lakes was maybe the best team in Nova.
Right, undefeated. Last year, we got to see the emergence of an Oakton program, right? Starting to come back into the fold. Centreville playing some young kids last year, but it seems like they came on late at the end of the year.
Right.
Start off, I think 1-3, and I think they finished up at 3-2 in their last few games. And they looks like they're poised to kind of get out there as well. I mean, those teams in particular, and then Chantilly, right? Chantilly makes a return to the playoffs after
Yep.
being out of the playoffs for a year. Just a competitive district. I mean, one of those districts where there are no games off, right? Where you are in for a dogfight every game.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing, a lot of senior quarterbacks.
Yeah, a lot of
Right before we get into each player and each team, just top of my head, you mentioned Westfield, you mentioned Centreville, you mentioned Chantilly. These are guys with not only just senior quarterbacks, but these aren't the type of senior quarterbacks who sat behind a senior a year ago. These are guys who have played.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Really strong quarterback play in the Concorde for sure.
So, I mean, without further ado, you ready to get into it?
I am. I am.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. So we're going to start from the bottom of last year's standings and work our way up to the top. And so we're going to start with, like we said a second ago, the team that in 23 was the team to beat, right? Undefeated. They finished last in the standings this year. So we're going to start with South Lakes, buddy. We're going to Reston.
Yeah. So they finished 2-8 last year, but they had a lot of really close losses. They had a really close. I mean, they had the overtime or double overtime thriller against Oakton. I mean,
that was great. Yeah.
48-47, I think it was the final in that game. Yeah, they actually had two losses by combined 3 points, a blocked field goal and an overtime extra point miss and a last second TD. I mean, just heartbreaking losses, right? I mean, you get that turned around, and all of a sudden maybe you're 4-6, 5-5. They're still in the playoffs. I mean,
Yep.
a lot of things could have broke their way. Uh,
Yeah, and what I heading into the the off season, everyone's doing their 7-on-7, everyone's doing their. You and I at the 7-on-7s we went to, they looked good.
yeah. Well, either they finished the final or they won the TJ 7-on-7. Everybody was really impressed with the way they looked. Coach Hescock, told us that, in the weight room, they saw a lot of the younger players got a lot stronger, right? I mean,
Yep.
they had to, right? Because the 23 team was very senior heavy. So you had to get a bunch of guys in place who maybe didn't have a lot of field experience. And then, you give them the game reps, they get the offseason going and kind of build out the weight room, right? So, they're bringing back quite a few more stars than they had last year.
And that's the key, and they know that. And Coach Hescock knows that because I mean, like he said, the team that dominated 2 years ago, it was some kind of crazy. It wasn't like 32 seniors or something that year.
Yeah, something wild like that.
Yeah, it was some crazy number, and so he knows what it takes. And so now he's got last year was kind of a sort of a let's say rebuilding year, retooling year, kind of getting everything together. And then this is the year they're gonna he's hoping to strike.
Yeah. But they did lose some players this year. They lost wide receiver Alex Saunders, running back Corey Wood, wide receiver Matthew MacArthur, left tackle Xavier Swain, and then on the defensive side they lost a couple of key D linemen, Nathan Deagle and Amari Thaxton. So they did lose some of those kids on, but replacing 5 as opposed to replacing 23 or whatever how many seniors they replaced before is going to be a little easier this year coming into the season.
Well, yeah, and you know that because of the guys that were turning, right? You're talking about, I mean, you're first of all and talk about an underrated position in high school, the kicker, right? 2-year starting kicker. He might win a few games for him, buddy. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You got at running back, they're bringing back Dalton Blakeney. You're bringing back a couple receivers, Josh Dagby, stud, absolute stud, killed it in the 7-on-7s, and then Nick Piccarelli, another second-year starter. I mean, see, you're talking these are top tier guys. Dagby especially.
Yeah.
Dagby, I think, had older siblings go through there who were outstanding.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen, defensive linemen coming back, right? You got 3 top tier guys, right? Chris Kishimito, one of the team, probably team captain. Cameron Chowdhury, right? First year starter. And then you got Milo Wilkins. How many pounds does Milo weigh?
I think they got him at 280. That's
280, my friend.
That's a lot. That's a lot of offensive linemen coming at you.
We used to call that back in the old WWF days. That's a condominium with legs.
But I think you do have to play in the Concorde, right? You got to have some big guys up front just because of the physicality of the district, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And then we're rattling off a lot of returning guys here. I mean, they have this year circled. Eric Kowalski. I never messed these names up. We apologize. Cameron Soto, Labid Zaib. All defensive backs. Those guys. And then the big tight end. Everyone, what do we say about this is the year of the tight end?
It's a tight end summer. It's a tight end summer, right? And it's gonna look like it's gonna be a tight end fall, right? It's gonna go from tight end summer to tight end fall.
It really could be. Good old Nate Zunchke.
Yeah.
Love that. Nate Zunchke, 6'3", 230. This guy reminds me of a young Shannon Sharp. Remember Shannon Sharp? He was quick. He was fast. He could block enough, but just athletic as all get out.
Yeah. Coming in this season, their non-league schedule is not easy. They play Yorktown. They play in the Baron Cameron Bowl. Do you know what that means? How do you know what that means?
Baron Cameron Bowl is a named after the great Baron Cameron, actually, back in 1892.
But they play Herndon, who was a really good team. So they play two really good teams from Liberty, West Potomac and Robinson, who I think West Potomac was a playoff team last year, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong about that?
West Potomac?
Yeah, West Po was in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, so another playoff team. And the big game, right? Is a team that people think have a real legitimate shot to win a state title, and they play Battlefield. I mean, that's gonna be that's a tall order. I'm not saying they're not prepared for it. I'm just saying that's taking on the big boy, right? That's you're not ducking anybody. You're taking on Battlefield.
That's a tough schedule. I mean,
on a
go ahead.
4-year undefeated streak in the regular season. They've run 40 in a row in the regular season.
Yes, it's tough. I mean, a couple things. One, I was joking about the Baron Cameron Bowl. I don't know who it's named after. Um, I don't know why it's called that, but I do know, all right, that Herndon and South, that's the Battle of Reston, right? Like we call it. That's the Battle of Reston. I mean, they're neighbors. A lot of these kids grew up together. A lot of these kids played youth together. So you circle that week 5 was circled a long time ago by Coach Hescock, by Coach Richards. That's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle.
And
So
it's a
can't wait
Saturday
for
game
that.
too. It's a
Got
Saturday.
yeah.
It's a
Probably
Saturday.
a home. It might even be a homecoming game.
I wonder if they do play a homecoming game. I wonder if that. I
It could be
mean,
a homecoming game. I don't have. We don't have that in the notes, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that's an old school. That's up there with that's Westfield, Centreville, right? Centreville,
yeah,
Chantilly, Madison, Oakton, right? It's like it's one of those.
yeah, yeah. But
So I can't wait for that one. And like you said, I mean, the Concorde is a dogfight, and then your non-conference is like you said, freaking Yorktown, Battlefield, Westpo. I mean,
although we were talking with Coach Counts, oddly enough, at Vienna, and I think I talked to Coach Foster about this as well. With them doing the 4-4, where your non-district games do not really count against you making the playoffs, you want to play the toughest teams possible because it's going to get you ready, right? What better team is going to get you ready to play Westfield and Madison than to go play Battlefield, right? It's going to give you a barometer of like, okay, here's a top program. Where do we stand against them, right? If you're able to knock them off, you're like, oh man, we can beat any of these guys. We can beat any of them, right? And even in a loss, you could be like, okay, here are some things that we might be lacking in as going into it because you're going to have to play a big dog, some big dogs in the Concord.
yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, uh, at a conference like that, you got to get ready and playing tough competition. So it looks like Coach Hescock was thinking about that. Looking at some of the other things they got coming into the season, they're excited about the O line, excited about the secondary. They say that's where the leadership is, that's where the experience is.
Well, I mean, you get a good O line, right? You're going to win some games. No bad team ever was like, hey, we had a great O line, but we stuck to where else we went 1-9. No, if you say you have a great O-line, you're gonna win games. And
Right? No, that's true.
it looks like they've got experienced O line coming in, and that means so much. That means so much. I mean, football changes here and there, right? You're the spread, you're the wishbone. The one thing that doesn't change, man, is up front. If you can win up front, you're gonna win. You're gonna win football games.
No, that's yeah, you're 100% right. You nailed it. So they got it up front and they got it on the back end too, right? With the DBs.
Yeah.
So I mean that's what you want. Which is probably why I mean if you have skilled DBs in high school, that means you probably have skilled receivers too,
Yeah.
which would explain why they were doing so well in the 7-on-7s.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, a bunch of guys with experience, right? But
So I'll tell you what. So the place they'll be celebrating this year when we talk to the coaches about some of the spots they like to go to,
yeah.
and the Reds table came up a few times.
That's table. Oh, okay. Yeah. We need to check these places out, right? I mean, we need to...
Reds table and Glory Day. I know Glory Day is obviously Reds table. Maybe we need to mark that.
Is Glory Days a Virginia franchise or is it like a DMV franchise? What is Glory Days exactly?
That's a good question, actually. I've never thought about that. I mean, I know they're all over the place, but I assumed it was a national chain. Is it a local chain?
I mean, I never heard of a Glory. I mean, I've heard of places called Glory Days. There's a Glory Days in Lakewood, California, but I am positive it is not the same thing.
Yeah, that's not that Glory Days.
Yeah.
Well, they're all over the place here in the DMV. I'm going to look that up, and maybe we'll have that answer next show.
Yeah.
The Reds Table's owned by South Lake Salum, by the way. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe he hung out with Andrew Siciliano and played basketball with Grant Hill.
Maybe.
I mean, look, when you're talking about South Lakes, right? You're talking about, there's great tradition there in sports.
Yeah. And it definitely looks like they're going to be rebounding this year.
Oh, yeah. So keep an eye on South Lakes. Can't wait. And we're going to kind of break down kind of our predictions here at the end of this.
Yeah.
Working our way up the standings. Who we got next, buddy?
We got Centreville.
Centreville Wildcats.
Last year they finished at 4-6. They finished at 4-6, and like I said, they started off 1-3. So I mean, they kind of and the tough thing was is for them, they did have a 1 point win over Chantilly, and they actually had a really close loss to Westfield, who we both like a whole lot last year, and we like a whole lot this year. You know, again, if they would have beat Westfield, now they're 5-5. So it looks the season could have worked out differently. Um, you know, they had very similar things to probably South Lakes last year too, right? Where they were really senior heavy for a while. They had to get some new kids in there to try to get them ready. But it looks like that they're really trying to improving from building off what they did last year. And Centreville is a traditional power, right? I mean, they just are. Um, uh,
There are people who we've talked to a lot of coaches obviously this offseason, and there are some people who really like Centerville this year.
yeah, and we saw them at the camp, right? We saw them at the Westfield camp, and they had some kids who looked really impressive. Really.
Yes, yes, there
Uh,
were a few very impressive looking kids.
Coach Shields really liked the work that they did in the offseason, in the weight room. Thought they did a lot of work in 7-on-7, and I think with the pedigree of Centerville and the pedigree of Coach Shields, I can't imagine them not making a push this year, especially with the senior
Now,
core.
right, that to me that's it. I mean, so young Shields he's committed to Albany, right?
Mm.
And that's just a load off your back, especially as a quarterback, right? You don't have to worry. You know where you're going. You don't have to kind of worry about that. I'm sure that I'm sure him and his family, everyone was thrilled. If I'm not mistaken, I think his brother's at Albany. I think I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm sure they were thrilled about that. They don't have to worry about that going into the season. He can just play, right? He can just play and worry about winning, and not have to worry about where am I going and the offers. So I think that's huge. And then the amount of skill guys that he has around him, right? Centerville, they're never. I think everyone's kind of forgotten a little about Centerville, right? With Madison and Westfield, and now Oakton having all these shiny toys, which we'll get to in a little while. Centerville still got a lot of weapons.
Yeah. Actually, and Centerville did beat Oakton last year. I mean, it was a close game, and
Right.
they were able to hold his offensive weapons down for a little while. I mean, that game, if I'm not mistaken, was, I want to say, really low scoring. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, I mean, they played them really tough. I believe that's what the game that where Oakton lost it on the 1 yard 7-0.
Yes, it was it. Yeah. Interception, and then they scored right after that.
And I think they had a goal line stand in the game.
Right.
Uh, uh, they were back and forth. West Potomac, they were back and forth. It ended up being a 10-point loss, but they were back and forth. The overtime win against Chantilly, they beat South Lakes, and then the 8-point loss to Westfield, a really good Westfield team. So, uh, kind of building off that, right? A few breaks here and there. They're 6-4, 5-5, you know, uh, and got themselves in the thick of the playoff hunt, right?
Yeah, I mean, young offensive line. You were just talking about this with South Lakes, veteran group at South Lakes with the O line. Pretty veteran group here at Centerville. Yeah, Coach did indicate it's kind of a younger O line as a whole, but he thinks it's a promising young O line.
Yeah. And they also, I mean, I remember seeing that camp, and if I'm not mistaken, and just it's been a while since that camp, but they had some really good D. I remember having some big D linemen. I remember correctly that they had pretty big D end and defensive tackle who looked really good.
They were going. I mean, yeah, I remember watching them and Braddock going at it.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, he thinks that the team is pretty bonded. It's got a lot of leaders, right? Stable, offensive and defensive systems. So the players know what's going on. Um, and interesting thing he said, and we actually, didn't know Coach had said this, and when I said it earlier, but he referred to it. Coach Shields said the Concord is the year of the quarterbacks. So he's not saying the year of the tight ends. He's going year of the quarterbacks, and he's not wrong
oh, not especially not in that conference, right?
in the Concord, right?
They do have a pretty tough non-district schedule. Just up, from, they play Forest Park, who's traditionally a pretty big power out in PW, right? They also play Yorktown. They also have W&L on the schedule.
Well, yeah, it's a tough
Um,
schedule.
yeah, a game I'm really interested in seeing though is them in Mount Vernon. as much as I want to see what Mount Vernon looks like against a Concorde team, I think that's pretty telling. And good on Mount Vernon, right? Taking on some big powers as well. Uh, but I think that'll be an interesting matchup with them Mount Vernon, because Mount Vernon's got a lot of skill kids, right? So I think
Right.
there's gonna be a lot of speed on the field. It's gonna be interesting for them and them going back and forth with Centreville.
Yeah, talking to Coach Holland, right? I mean, you know, I'm not surprised that he's a good coach, and I'm not surprised he's willing to take on anybody.
Yeah.
But Centerville, I that's going to be I agree with you. At the speed of Mount Vernon in that game, and the size, even though they're young, the size of that O line.
Yeah. All right. Because they got big boys up front, right?
Right. That's the thing. It's the Concorde, right? They don't mess around.
Now they are young on the offensive line. They do have a young offensive line. That kind of has to grow into it. And that's a tough thing. You're playing the Concorde with teams that got really, some good D linemen,
Right.
playing with the young offensive line. But that helps when you have a veteran quarterback who he's really mobile. He can move. He can fight, get himself out of trouble. He's got a really good arm. So they're gonna be leaning on that a lot, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and where are these guys going after wins this year? These guys are heading over to Foster's Grill, buddy. What do you know about Foster's Grill? You ever been to a Foster's?
I've never been to a Foster's.
Yeah, good. They got good char grilled hamburgers.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think that good char grilled hamburger.
Yeah, not bad at all. I've only been to Foster's once, but apparently it's pretty popular out in Centerville. So, yeah, man, I'll tell you what, Centerville's one of those teams. Like I said, that people are starting to talk about them a little bit. They're not getting the front page. I'm sure, and this is how Coach Shields wants it, anyways. They're not getting that front page, news with some of the other teams, but people are kind of whispering a little bit.
That and I think it might help, right? They can fly under the radar for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Fly under the radar. No one's really looking, and then all of a sudden, someone takes you lightly, and then boom, because they still are Centerville, right? They still are.
Right.
Coach Shields is a fantastic coach, and so yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
All right, buddy. Well, we went six, we went five. Who was our fourth place team last year?
It was the Oakton Cougars. The Oakton Cougars.
Oakton Cougars, who might have been led by the All Hitches Coach of the Year.
Yeah, we're big. We like Coach Slay. We think Coach Slay is a fantastic coach, and I mean the proof's in the pudding, right? He took a team that was 1-9 the year before, and essentially played a playoff game in Week 10 was against
Yeah.
Chantilly. I mean they were right there, right? They beat Chantilly. I mean actually, if they score and they get a 2 point, they score and they beat Centreville, they're in.
Yeah.
They're in, right? If they don't get that field goal kicked against them against West Springfield, they're in.
Right. Janikowski doesn't come on the field and boot the 45-yarder to win it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why they earned the name, the Cardiac Cougars.
Yeah. So I mean, but what a turnaround for Coach Slay. Got those kids to believe, and I've found some really good young talent, right?
Oh, I mean, the talent like that. He listen. All right, let's just put it this way. So coming in 1-9. Now he knew what he had. Probably he was kind of figuring it out, but he went to workouts. Probably his first few months on the job, checking it out. He probably started liking what he saw. But to the eyes of the world, outside world at least, outside that locker room, he came into 23. Or came into 24 rather. Driving a jalopy. Okay. Well, he pulled up in a Ferrari this year, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Look at the receivers.
going back to last season, he played a lot of young guys and had them on the cusp. I mean, it wasn't like, he walked into kids who had varsity experience. He walked into guys the year before were just playing freshman football.
Right.
And,
Right.
I mean, as talented as they were, and don't get me wrong, they've got some really talented kids over there. I mean, they have two kids who are going to be playing division. They have one who already has a Maryland offer, and Dalen Jones is going to get an offer soon.
And Dalen Jones is going to get an offer tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but they essentially they had 8 games of freshman football underneath their belt, and then got thrust into playing both ways, and they were right there, right? I mean, they knocked off a fantastic team that was in region final, Fairfax. They knocked them off.
Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's what I'm saying. To my point, what I'm saying is that he came into last year, and everyone's like, oh, well, the new coach and the team's 1-9. I don't know. He's got not have a lot of talent over there, blah, blah, blah. A year later, what a difference a year makes. Any of these teams out there, right? Pay attention to this. A year later, people are like, oh, man, watch out for Oakton. They got, a Division I receiver out there, a Division I receiver out there, a future collegiate quarterback back there. They got a couple collegiate O linemen. They got a lot of fancy toys.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. No, they look fantastic. They look good in 7-on-7. I thought that 7-on-7s that we saw them at, they looked really good. And the tough thing for this year, right, is now they're less the hunters and now they're the hunted, right? So I mean that's kind of the switch the switch they got flipped, right? They've got to understand, okay, no longer are people gonna be like, oh, Oakton, we got these guys. This is we're gonna take care of them, and they get surprised where you have teams.
Yeah,
nobody's
that's a good.
Nobody's
point.
Right?
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. No one's gonna be like, oh, do we have to practice hard this week? It's just Oakton. Nope. Now they're gonna be locked in, watching film, getting their guys ready to play that team, right?
Got to be careful, right? A year ago, Coach Slay was Clubber Lang sitting in the front row wearing a tuxedo, getting angry, watching people. Now, a year later, he's got to be careful, right? You don't want to be Stallone on the Muppet Show, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. So that's the thing. So yeah, you're right. He's going. Can you keep the eye on the tiger, right? He was the hunter a year ago. You got to remain the hunter. You can't be the hunted now.
So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about who they have returning. Right? We kind of mentioned them in passing, not by a name. At quarterback, they have Chase Martin. At quarterback,
Jack Martin.
I'm sorry, Jack Martin.
Love Jack Martin. Look, we've talked to Coach Thompson about him. Talked to Coach Slay about him. Jack Martin is the real deal. Jack Martin, we talk about the college landscape and how tough it is nowadays, right? Multiply that by whatever with quarterbacks, right? Because there's only one quarterback plays,
right?
So it's so hard, and we saw that last year with the Prince William quarterbacks, right? So I don't know where Jack Martin, where he's going to play college ball at all. He's still a young guy. He's only a junior, rising junior. But I'll say this: Jack Martin is going to play somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who else? I lost my thing. You got the Henrique, right? You have two of them.
Yes.
You got two of them. Both explosive.
You got our guy Vasquez. We met the younger brother at the Vienna camp.
We did, and man, they've got someone else already in the pipeline, right?
Yeah, young Vasquez could play right now. He could start my slot receiver.
Yeah,
he looked pretty shifty.
Yeah, and we're a big fan of Jones at wide receiver, linebacker. I mean, he was all region, right? All region as a sophomore. I mean, the only honor he has left to get, or the other two honors left to get, and that's all state and all Met, right?
Are they listed? They're not listing Dalen Jones as a linebacker, are they?
He played line. I thought he played linebacker last year. Wasn't that?
He was playing. He was DB. He was playing DB.
Yeah, I thought he was playing linebacker last year.
I mean, he might have played like a rover spot or something, but yeah. I think he was more of a DB there.
Yeah,
because he got a couple. I think I was at the Woodson game and I saw a couple interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
Deep interceptions. But yeah, I mean, you talk about, like you said, Vasquez. I mean, Maryland made an offer for a reason, right? 12 TDs, 1,000 yards, 58 receptions. That's a hell of a year.
Yeah. And they're big up front with Wesley Lattice and Raja Sami Ayub. I mean, 6'2", 285, 6'5", 255. I mean, those are
yeah. Big. Well, those are collegiate players. I mean, you got both those guys are going to be playing college, in the trenches in college.
So it's not like they just have skill guys and and they're lacking up front. No, they got big kids up front. I mean, man, it's funny, right? I think just kind of your point before, people are like that Oakton job and they're like, I don't know, and now. People would kill to get that job.
I know, right?
But I think that credit goes again. We're big Coach Slay fans, so I mean, I I'm not going to pull try to pretend we're not. But I mean, what a fantastic job he did there, right? I mean, and within a year, he turned that place in a place where people are like, oh, do I want to interview there? Not interview. Although I think both of us told people when that job popped open, you want that job.
We did. We did.
Told
The
me,
people.
you want that job. You want that job. Oh, I don't
Uh,
know.
I think you said this before. I'm gonna go ahead and it was funny, so I'm gonna reiterate it. Start listening to us, people. We know what we're talking about. Some, at least about this. This show will end. I'll walk upstairs, get yelled at my wife for screwing something up. I have no idea what I'm doing up there. But
Yeah, it's
down
our time.
here,
It's
it's
our
our
time.
time. It's our time down here. And I know what I'm talking about when it comes to down here.
I mean, who else besides us pays attention to what goes on in Nova football as much as we do? I mean,
No, not
nobody.
like this. They can't.
No.
No, not about telling you all about these teams in Loudon and PW and Fairfax and Arlington and Alexandria and everywhere in between. Watching all those games are definitely not. I mean, one thing I can say this: they're definitely not watching. If you're a coach in season
Yeah.
and let's say your team in Fairfax, you're not watching random games in PW that or Loudon that aren't even like 6A for no reason
No,
during the
100%.
season.
100%.
Right. So no one watches more Nova football than we do, and we're telling it like it is. All right, telling it like it is. Like I think Jesse Venturi's tell it like it is.
But yeah, so I think that it's gonna be interesting for them this year. Again, going from the hunter to the hunted, right?
Oh yeah.
And also, now they're gonna feel the weight of expectations, right? Now it's like, oh, you won a game. Well, good for you. No, that's not the case anymore for you guys anymore. No more of that. No more of just
Yeah.
oh, that's a great try. No, that you don't get to go back anymore, right? That
So true. No more moral victories, right?
no more victories. Now you got to get real victories. Everyone looks at them now. So,
Yeah.
but I'm sure Coach Slay and his staff are excited for the challenge, and I'm sure those kids are excited for the challenge.
And gotta give a little love to linebacker Ethan Kazanowski. Hey, that's a linebacker name, Kazanowski. Guy had
And
77 tackles last year. I had to give a little love there.
it absolutely is.
I expected you to give the love. You're the linebacker guy.
Oh yeah,
But like you said, I mean, the close games. I know Coach Slay touched on that. He wants fewer close games, which he doesn't want to have get all these gray hairs.
yeah, yeah.
And he did mention a place called Andy's Pizza.
Andy's Pizza.
Andy's Pizza in Fairfax.
I'm always looking for a good pizza place. I've yet to find a really good pizza place out here, like a really good pizza place.
I had Andy's
Okay.
when Coach recommended it. I had it. It didn't let down. Actually, I was a fan. I'll tell you, hit up Andy's. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like Santini's has pizza, but that's not their forte.
No.
The sandwich spot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, buddy, I mean, expecting good things from Oakton. And then there were three.
And there were three. All right. Next is Chantilly. Chantilly, who made a return to the playoffs after missing the playoffs in 20. I think I talked about it in the Oakton preview. They played a playoff game because that was a win and you're in. That was
Yep.
that was a Sunday night football game. That would have got flexed, right? That would have got flexed to the Sunday night game.
That would have gotten flexed.
It got
That
flexed
would
to
have gotten flexed.
the Sunday night game. And they it was close for a little while, and then they just took off on them. But I think the difference in that game is that so Oakton had a sophomore quarterback. They had a quarterback who was a junior quarterback who started as a sophomore, right? So he was kind of ready. He was kind of ready for the big lights. So here, Mantry, was he a multiple time player of the week?
Oh, we love Mantry. It's our guy.
Yeah. Third year, he's gonna be his third year starter, which
Third
is
year starter.
and again, we talked a little bit in the Oakton one, right? Now the weight's really on his shoulders, right? You're no longer the sophomore that you're hoping, or the junior, like, oh, he should be a little better. You're a third year senior. I mean, you had a son who was a third year senior quarterback, and a lot falls on his shoulders, right? Because no longer those mistakes that you were a little forgiving with for the last 2 years, you are a lot less forgiving on those.
Yeah, it's so true. But I'll and you know this better than anyone. You coached him freshman year, and then obviously you were on staff sophomore year. Then you were on staff obviously senior year. What impresses me with a third year quarterback normally, aside from the physical changes, you expect that, right? You start off with a 15-year-old, and then you end up with an 18 or 19-year-old. So the physical stuff you expect. It's the it's the mental part, right?
Yeah.
It's so much different, and so you're right. The expectations because of that, and I don't think he's going to let us down. I think Mantry, he's shown the growth each year. I'm a big Mantry guy, and that's another one. Talk about Jack Martin, who's a year younger. So here, Mantry is playing somewhere. Where I don't know, but he's playing somewhere beyond this year.
Yeah. Um, who else? Who else we looking at Chantilly? Oh, lost it. Okay, here we go. All region linebacker Ryan Vale, all region linebacker. Coach Curry said that
Yeah.
that, that he he's a 4 or 5 kid. I mean, a 4 or 5. Whoa.
Wow. Wow.
Um, that's a kid who can move. But it looks like in the backfield they're looking at Gerard King to emerge and be the running back back there for them in the gun. A receiver they really like a lot is Tyshawn Jackson, who seems to be the guy they think is going to lead them out receiver.
Young receivers, but that's where the veteran quarterback comes in, right? And
Now, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and then kind of round out the offensive side. Their offensive line is coach was saying a little bit inexperienced, but they think they're athletic and strong. But again, that's where Mantry's the weight's going to fall on his shoulders because you're the senior. You got to figure it out. You got to figure it out. You can't blame a lot of people because the expectations going to fall on him.
Yeah, no, and we'll see what happens. I mean, 6 out of the 10 teams are going to play 7 wins last year. That's a tough, obviously, stretch there. And then they go through one stretch. They have Madison, Westfield, Langley, Herndon, and Fairfax. Holy smokes!
Well, and they play West Springfield too. Like they've got a loaded schedule. I don't.
They do have a loaded schedule.
I'm not sure if they have a team on their schedule that was not a playoff team.
But I think you're right. I think, like you said, I think a lot of these this is the Concorde, man, where the big boys play. And I think the Concorde, they realize that you guys just load up that schedule. 4-4. You're going 4 teams are getting in no matter what.
Right.
So load up your schedule. You load up, you party. Well, I mean, you get dressed up. You get dressed up for these games. You have a good time. I think they are going to be so prepared for the playoffs, right? You're not going to have to worry about years past where a big letdown game. I think all these teams are going to be. I actually would be worried and would hate to be maybe some Liberty teams that got to play some of these guys.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk more about the Liberty when we get there, but especially in there, if my non-league schedule didn't matter, I would actually what I would do is I would play guys in the Concorde. I'd play the best teams in the Concorde. Give me a look at those guys. Give me a look let me see exactly what those guys are, so that way when I get to playoffs, I've got an idea, right?
Yeah, you might as well, right? Yeah. You might as well because I mean, you're not going to have as many bullets as them, right? Going to the gunfight. Yeah. But so you might as well have a devise a really good plan of attack.
Well, you're a boxer. You're a fan of the sweet science. I mean, usually that second matchup, right? When you have those second matchups, they're a lot different because now right? I know how fast that guy is. I know the angles he wants to come from. I know how hard he punches, right? I have an idea of what that looks like, right?
Yeah, you and I were talking about this last night, right? And I think especially if you think, which I think most staffs would think, that we are the better coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
And if I think that we are the better coaching staff, you're right. I do want to play you.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what you got, and then we're going to rematch, and I'm going to outcoach the hell out of you.
Defensively for Chantilly, they like Quamir Rogers. I think he's really athletic. Also Matt Lynch, long defensive end that they have. So up front, it sounds like they've got some guys who can play up front.
Yeah, they got. And how about the? I love when talking about the team identity. Chippy, right? Focused on physical, violent play. I love it. Sounds like an old school Raider. I like Coach Curry's building a like an old Raider team over there. I like that.
And Coach Curry's the suit and tie guy, right? Isn't he?
Yeah. He loves. That's old school. That's like Mike Nolan style.
Yeah, Mike Nolan. Don't bring up Mike Nolan to me.
You love Mike Nolan. You loved Mike Nolan.
I did not love Mike Nolan.
You remember when Mike Nolan and Del Rio wore the suits?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I remember Mike Nolan got hired, and my dad was like, because my dad was a 49er fan. So my dad
Yeah.
was that Dick Nolan's kid. I was like, I think so. He was like, oh God. I shook his head.
Mike Nolan knew football. He coached offense, he coached defense, he coached everything.
Yeah, he didn't coach it well.
Oh,
All right.
let's take a time. Oh, look, we know Chantilly pretty well, buddy. And how well do we know it? We know a little place called the Backyard Grill, huh?
Oh yeah, the backyard grill. The backyard grill.
Backyard Grill. I have a feeling, Coach Mason, Backyard Grill is going to be making quite a few appearances on this show. That
Yeah.
we'll break it right now. Backyard Grill is an official sponsor of the show for the upcoming season.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited. We're excited to see them. We're excited to see them.
For the Friday Night Live show specifically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So go out there and get yourself something to eat at the backyard grill.
Backyard Grill. It's gonna be, which is actually, I happen to know it's in Chantilly, and I know Coach Voss loves the Backyard Grill, and that would be a good segue, wouldn't it, my friend?
It would absolutely. That takes us to the second place team, right?
Number
The
two. Number
second
two.
Westfield, who end up at a 9-3 record. I think they lost to Patriot and to uh, Madison twice,
Madison
right?
twice, right?
Madison twice. I mean, but they definitely take on all comers, right? I mean, their schedule last year was not easy at all last year with
Well, they played Patriot early.
they played Patriot early.
A really good Patriot team.
A Patriot team that I think they eventually were in the region championship, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but last season, they were 6 points away. They were 6 points away from beating Madison twice. They're 6 points away. They're 3 points away in the regular season, right? From winning the Concorde. They're 3 points away from being in winning the region. So they're right there. But Coach Voss is a fantastic coach, man. I mean, he can he can coach with the best of them.
And maybe the most experienced staff in the entire Nova.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and last year they beat Braddock.
Yeah.
They beat Braddock last year. I mean, so and their non-league schedule is brutal. But yeah, so I mean, they're right there, right? They're right there at the end of the season on both spots.
Right. And one thing we know about Voss, I mean, as soon as the season ended, look, some people working on 7-on-7, some people are drawing up, new plays. Where did Coach Voss go with his boys? They went to the weight room.
Yeah.
We interviewed him in the offseason, and he told us the numbers that he had in there.
Yeah. Well, that and for what it's worth, their kids also take PFIT. Their kids take PFIT during, they make sure to get their lift in during the day. I mean, and that goes to show what that kind of program is, right? When you have, a lot of times you have kids who are like, oh, I don't want to take PFIT. I'll lift it at whatever local gym they have, or they'll show up at. No, and at Westfield, they make sure everyone gets their lift in during the day. And I think that's smart too. I mean, if you're a football player, and especially if you have stuff going on after school, then take PFIT,
Right.
and get out in the weight room. So that way you have the time that you need at the end of the day to go do what you need to do in the off season.
Well, Coach Voss is going to make sure that they have the mentality of the hunter, okay? Because he was nonstop praising Madison. Madison's the team to beat in the Concorde until someone knocks them off. And I love that approach.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, but that's where he has to come from, right? I mean, 6 points, right? I mean, if I was them, I would have 6 points plastered everywhere over my thing, right? 6 points away from being region champ, Concorde champ. I mean, that's tough to deal with. And you look coming into the season, right? I mean, Fairfax, Langley, and Braddock. They got those three, and they have Patriot as well. I mean, that they're playing heavy hitters.
Oh,
But
yes, they
I
are.
think when you're a team that has sights on not just a Concord or a region, but on a state championship, I think those are the kind of games that you have to play, right?
Well, you got to play him without some of your key guys, right? And he said that first thing he said was these guys are not replaceable,
Yeah,
and it was an army of guys, right, from last year. Kennedy Duda, who you loved,
yeah,
Connor Marin, Huda Johnson,
yeah.
Amir Raff. I mean, you go Saint Germain, Bendorf, Periel, Lucas, right? I mean, these are huge departs. Lucas is player of the year in that region
Yeah.
on defense. So he's right; they're not replaceable, but
But you're
you got,
Westfield, right? You reload at Westfield for the
that's
most part.
right. That's right. You got guys coming up the pike, and he's got a senior quarterback. He didn't have that before.
Yeah. I mean, is Ryan Carlson a 3-year starter?
Right, he's a 2-year starter.
2-year
Two-year
starter, but
starter.
still, right? I mean, he played on a really competitive team. You know, they have running back, wide receiver, safety, Michael, I can't, like
Malachi Lee.
Malachi Lee. Oh man, I'm a little tongue. You know, he had over 1,000 yards in all purpose last
Only
year.
a sophomore. Only a
He's
sophomore this year.
only a sophomore. Uh,
Holy smokes.
and they do
Wesley
it.
Flamer?
Yeah, and these are two-way guys too. You know, it's not like they're playing with one-way guys.
Right.
Linebacker and tight end, right? 6'1", 200 pounds.
Have
And
you
these
seen
first,
him run? He runs. This guy moves like the Human Torch.
yeah. Uh, you know, they have some good guys on the defensive side. They have a linebacker, Jason Lardy. Lardy, am I saying that right?
Yeah, all right.
And on the D line, they got Jake Brubaker.
Yeah, you gotta love. That's a good football name, Brubaker. Love
Yeah.
Brubaker.
Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of strength, a lot of size, a lot of strength, a lot of speed.
Yeah. Yeah. On offense, they got a ton of speed. They got a ton of speed. They got guys who can game break. And they're going to need it to make a run though too, right? I mean, you're going to need those guys who can take the distance. You're always going to need a couple guys who can get you. You know, it's great to grind down the field, but you're going to need a game breaker every now and then. It looks like they've got quite a.
And again, I mean, I can't. Carlson had a great offseason. You could ask our friend, your friend, everyone's friend, the Adam Schefter of Nova, Carl Frederick, raved all offseason about Carlson.
Yeah, and big kid, right? 6'4". I mean,
Right.
You know, he's seeing over that line.
We call him the commander, Ryan Carlson.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, the game that everyone's got to circle, right, is going to be Madison Westfield. I mean,
Oh man,
that's going to be the game, right? I mean, and everyone's gonna be motivated, right? I mean, and we'll get to Madison's motivations in a minute, but Westfield, right? Again, they've got to slay the dragon. They've got to slay the dragon, right?
and it's a Concorde, so you can't focus too much on that till you see them, because you still got to worry about Oakton and Centreville and Chantilly and South Lakes. I mean, you can't sleep on anybody.
No. It's definitely a war, but you know, Madison, Westfield is poised, right? They're poised. They're coming down the stretch, and I think Madison's poised to overtake right now. So, yeah, it should be an exciting time for Coach Boss and Westfield.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, Coach Voss loves some backyard grill.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, that's one of the key sponsors over there for their they got their cards and all that kind of stuff out there in that neck of the woods. So if you're ever out there, you hit Backyard Grill up, you tell them Dash and Dan sent you. They take care of you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that was number 2. And then we were left with one. And it's very appropriate that you and I ended up at the Vienna Inn yesterday, isn't it?
It is. It is. And the first place team last year were the Madison Warhawks. They were inches away from winning the state title. You know, and I remember we were watching that game, and I'm like, look at Oscar Smith. Holy smokes. I haven't seen anybody looks like I've not seen anybody look like that all year. You know, and you know, no disrespect to the way Hayfield looked last year, but Oscar Smith was huge. I mean, you just looked at him and they looked like the was necessary roughness, right? Those guys getting off it looked like those guys getting off the prison bus. I mean,
Yeah. Jim Kelly, Evander Holyfield, right? No, that was good. I mean, because in the movie, it was like all pro players.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just looked so impressive. And just Madison just kept on plugging along, right? Plugging along. And they were right there. I mean, God, game of inches, right? It's a game of inches, boys. Right? Between winning and losing.
That's it. Game of inches. And you and I said it. We saw Coach Counts
Yeah.
just the other day, and we told him we thought the best player on the field that day
Yeah.
was his player.
Yeah.
You
And then
know,
Dom Nicely, who, you'll hear me beat this drum until things change, should be playing at UVA or Virginia Tech, right? I mean, one of those schools.
JMU, Virginia Tech, yeah, any of those.
Somewhere. Oh.
Somewhere in Virginia.
Yeah, somewhere in Virginia, right? I mean, but Madison. I think the thing that impressed me most last season, we watched it when we did the our fake red zone, was that goal line stand against Westfield. They make a goal line stand and they just run off the field. Because
Yeah,
that's the standard there, right? The standard is that they're going to succeed.
it is. When I see that, I think commitment to excellence.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Old school.
But yeah, so hats off to them last year. But and the kids that they have to replace last year, I mean, most places I think this would be devastating, right? I mean, we talk about Dom Nicely, maybe the most explosive player in the state last year. I mean, obviously Jeffrey Overton was fantastic, but not taking anything away from him. But Dom Nicely is in that conversation, right?
Right.
Dom Nicely is in that conversation. Losing Cale Yates is huge, right? I mean, that guy was poised enough to throw a Hail Mary pass at the end of the game, right on the money for a touchdown for a possible win, right? And then
Yates was just
and then the pass he threw that was right there, right? Was inches away. I mean, what a pass, and just fantastic.
Ice in his veins, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice in his veins. What a leader. What a leader. And you're talking offense. You didn't even mention defense yet.
No, not yet, which was obviously one of the best defensive, would go down, right? If we were doing a top 10 top defenses in the state of Virginia all time, I mean, that led by Ambrose, right? Led by Jack Ambrose. Right?
Yeah, our guy Ambrose. How about this? How about you had Cale Yates and Ambrose? You had two Texas guys leading the Madison team.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but they're going to try to replace those guys, this year, right? So offensively, they have Matthew Weiler at running back, who's gonna take on that load. And I don't know how you replace Dom Nicely. I mean, but if anybody can do it right, Coach Counts at Madison can, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I love the fullback, Jack Riccadillo. He played a lot last year.
Yeah.
And I probably just butchered his name, but either way, he played a lot last year. Physical, fast, kind of your old school fullback, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at that, 6'2", 230. God.
But they play an old school game right there, right?
They do. I love it. He sign him up. Wisconsin right now, Jack Riccadello.
Yeah. Guard, you have Owen Mannering, 6'1", 295, almost 300 pound kid, man. That's a big boy.
That like we say that's a condominium with legs.
And then they have a three-headed monster at wide receiver, right? They have Voyness, Smoot, and Counts, right? They have a three-headed monster there at wide receiver.
And they're gonna play a lot of games, those guys.
Yeah. And then defensively is gonna be where you have to replace 11 starters, right? I believe it was all 11 were seniors, if I'm not mistaken. 11 or 10. It was a double-digit number, if I'm not mistaken. You have Salvosa.
Salvosa was huge last year.
Yeah. Oh, but he was a starter. Actually, they were returning 2 starters, so I think it was 9 starters on defense. Salvosa and Gore at free safety. They're both coming back. And then you have Gorkowski. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Gorkowski.
Yeah, and then Gates as well, right? So
don't forget about Clay Monday.
Oh yeah, at center.
At center. I mean, you returning a senior center, that's huge.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, so like you said earlier, they're losing some guys, man. They're losing some Hall of Famers. They're literally losing Hall of Famers, guys who are going to be put in the Madison Football Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah.
But it's Madison, and if any school can do it and kind of reload, and you made a good point when you were talking to Coach Counts the other day, when you said, I mean, these guys were playing against your starters every practice.
They were playing against what probably was, had they caught that, would have been considered the best team in the state. But at the very minimum was the second best team in the state. And they played against those guys week in and week out, which was huge, right? I mean, to be able to play against those guys, and they don't seem to get complacent there. But looking into this season, they open with Stonebridge.
Mm,
I mean,
yeah.
it's another one where Stonebridge, Lake Braddock on back-to-back weeks. I mean,
You said it. You said Counts will play anyone. The man's not afraid of anybody.
no,
He was going to play Hayfield.
he's gonna play. Oh, well, they're playing Hayfield,
I mean, that's what I mean. But he was going to play Hayfield when he thought it was going to be a dominant Hayfield team again.
right, yeah. So he takes on all comers.
He takes on all comers. He didn't care. Oh, everyone's scared of Hayfield. Look, I'll play him.
Yeah, yeah. So taking on that schedule, but it's just gonna make them better, right? And then they have their traditional game against Marshall, right? They have they play all three teams, right? They play all three of Vienna teams. So they play Marshall in that triple option. And actually, that game was close for a while. That triple
Yeah.
option.
Yeah, it was. I like you and I. We'll get there when we get to it, but we love Marshall.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you look at who they're playing, right? I mean, they play diverse teams. They're not all in the same stuff. I mean, just week in and week out. But it's kind of what they do. It's kind of
Right.
what they, and that's why they are who they are, right? I mean,
Yep.
playing that schedule, and Coach Counts is phenomenal job. His staff does a phenomenal job of getting those guys ready. And just the physicality of that team. I was talking to a coach the other day, and they said they'll run half-hour tackling circuits the day before the game. They just, that's the mentality there, though, right? It's very much an old school mentality, right?
You can see it. It's appropriate that this show was coming off of the Vienna youth appearance for us.
Yeah.
Because you got to taste that. You can see it now, right? That's where those kids grew up playing in the dirt over there.
Yeah. They just,
Well, it's turf, but I like saying dirt. But they're blue collar right in that way.
yeah, 100%.
And it's a special area because I say blue collar. Now, would I describe the $3 million homes of Madison and the Madison district as blue collar? No, but that brand of football is blue collar.
It is 100% blue collar. It's 100% blue collar. It is smash mouth. I mean, yeah, it is not high flying over there. It is bring a lunch pail, right? Like
Yep.
you're going to war. Yeah. I know I always try to throw out the boxing references. They're Joe Frazier, right?
They are Joe Frazier.
They're Joe Frazier. It's like you better be ready to go 15 rounds because I'm ready to go 15 rounds, right?
They are Joe Frazier, and especially now, he talked about it in our kind of talking about it. They lose the home run threat, right, and nicely, but they know that they're still going to be blue collar. They know they got to be tough, and so very much and be balanced on offense. So very much like Joe Frazier, right? When he would fight a bigger fighter who probably had a bigger reach, Ali.
Yeah.
Madison knows, okay, we might need to take two to give one.
Yeah.
But it'll be a good one when we give them.
Yeah. So hats off to those guys. Congratulations on their Concorde championship last year. And I'm really looking forward to see what that looks like, just because of the program they have over there.
And again, to bring it full circle, right? Full circle. What counts number one, Coach counts on that list, Vienna in.
Vienna in.
He said not like the Vienna in. He threw Bear Branch out there, Hawk and Griffin, but Vienna in. I mean, number one in everyone's hearts in Vienna, right? 65 years in the business. Jeez. But I'll tell you what, the Concorde, buddy. The Concorde. You talk about a conference. First ones to get all these previews back to us.
Yeah.
Easy. Right? These are all grade A, solid coaching staffs.
Yeah.
Organized, not messing around.
No. Every staff there is, and I believe no new hires in that district, right? There are no new hires in that district. They're all coming back, right? I believe they're all. Am I mistaken? No, they're all returning.
Yeah, they're all returning. Veteran coaches. They're not messing around, man.
Is it prediction time?
It's good. It's prediction time, baby. Let's go.
Prediction time. We haven't done this in a long time.
It has been a year since we did this.
We're picking the champ, right? We're picking who we're picking to win.
We are picking who will win the Concorde in 2025, my friend.
You gonna go first? You want to go first?
I feel like you already have an answer, so you go first.
I do have an answer.
I'm still thinking.
Yeah. Here's who I'm picking to win the Concorde. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Hold on to your hats. I'm picking the Oakton Cougars to win the Concorde.
Wow.
The Oakton Cougars. How you like that?
Wow.
I'm picking Oakton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy, you just, I mean, I there's, I felt tremors. Did you feel that? I felt tremors. The glass broke. Stone Cold's music came on.
I am picking
Slay
the.
came in the ring.
I like the man. You give me a couple of Division I receivers on the outside. You give me young. And I mean, yeah, I they were right there on the cusp of a 6-4 season after a 1-9 season. Uh, I could see a tie. I could see a tie, but I'm not gonna call a tie. But I like the Oakton Cougars. I'm taking Oakton to win the Concorde.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I like it. And it's paying out a little bit too at the old Fairfax MGM.
It is paying out a little bit.
It's paying out a little bit. All right, buddy. Well, look, I wore red today. Yesterday, or the other day, we were in Vienna. Went to Vienna Inn. I feel like things happen for a reason.
Are we staying? Are we both? Don't tell me we're both picking.
I am picking Westfield. Picking Westfield. I had to set you up with the red. That was not a just coincidence. I wore red. Uh, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was debating Madison Westfield. You can call me, Captain Obvious, I guess. But I just think I looked at I looked at it from just a common sense. I didn't want to overthink it, and I said, okay, West was bringing a lot of guys back. I know Madison reloads, and they're going to be good. I know all that, but West will bring all those guys back. Westfield, you could argue, could have, should have, whatever last year. Well, then do the deductions. I think that favors Westfield a year later. I think it favors Westfield. So I just went common sense, not overthinking. I think it's Westfield's turn. That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. No, I see that. I decided to go with my
And
pick,
and it's not paying out.
it is not
It's
paying.
not paying out. It's not paying out. But I think, and also quarterback play he was a first year starter last year. Now Carlson's kind of in the group. He's been going to camps. He's been doing everything. And he won the prep red zone player of the camp at some camp out in wherever.
Right.
I remember Carl was excited about him. So yeah, but it's gonna be let me say this, it's gonna be a dog fight no matter who wins it.
Is there anybody who would shock you?
Okay, we did this last year. Take your you want me to go first? You want to go first with the your dark horse.
My dark horse?
Dark horse.
So it's weird. So I have one, but it's gonna be
You kind of picked one to win it, actually, in some ways.
yeah. So I decided, but if I go dark horse, and it's weird to call them a dark horse, but Centreville, right? I mean, a team that did. I don't think Centreville made the playoffs last year. Am I wrong on that?
They did not. They did not.
They did not. So I guess that could be a dark horse, but yeah, I see them turning around at Centreville. I'm taking Centreville as my dark horse.
But that's it. I mean, you took mine. I agree on that. I think, again, looking at it from a common sense standpoint, don't want to overthink it. I think that's the way we approach these kind of things. They're bringing a lot of guys back. Again, you're the quarterback, right? Coach Shields. I think, his son returning at quarterback. And you mentioned it, the close games they had with Westfield.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's a sign, right? So I got Westfield. Centerville played close games against them. They're up there too. So, but it's going to be a dogfight, though, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Again, name a team if they won the Concorde, I'd be like, I can see that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Wow. I mean, and by the way, we didn't. I don't think we said this earlier. I mean, we mentioned every coach in every division. I mean, every team, but there's some stud coaches in this conference.
Yeah, they can all X and O. They can all X and O for sure.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Which, by the way, actually, which reminds me, I'm going to throw this out there. No one, and I think every staff in the Concorde might agree that Westfield staff is like There's like 85,000 years of awesome, a body of work there. I Good luck, right? If you're in a close game with those guys, right, and it's coming to come down to, kind of out scheming, out maneuvering someone. If you're, one of these young guys, that could be the difference between. We talk about that your pick and my pick, Oakton, Westfield. That could be something to keep an eye on, right? Just stuff like that, right? Experience, inexperience. Now, youth wins sometimes. Youth doesn't always lose, but that could be the difference in some games later in the year.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Man, good stuff, buddy. Good stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel a year later doing these reviews? How do you feel?
I don't know. Dumb.
Well, no one really knows anything, right?
Yeah, what do we know?
No one knows anything at the end of the day. We find out, right? We find out in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. And who's the next? Who are we gonna go with next? We're gonna go with Liberty. Well, buddy, it's been fun, and we're gonna do this again next week.
Do it again. Second verse, same as the first.
And we might even start double dipping on these and putting them out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Just giving people all the content. We've been waiting all year for this content. Now we're gonna start putting it all out.
They've been waiting and waiting for so long. Starving like Marvin for a cool
That's
Jason.
right. And how about coming to a podcast near you? How about you and I going on a podcast?
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Someone interviewing us.
Right. Our good friends over at Dark Visors Levels.
Levels AI, yeah. Yeah.
That should be kind of fun.
We're gonna be like D-Generation X pound on the doors of a WCW event.
That's exactly what it's gonna be. It could be Macho Man and Hogan doing the handshake.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are going to live in eternity, right? Dead, alive, no matter what, right? It's just outstanding. Piece of our childhood gone, but it lives forever. It lives forever. Hulkamania lives forever.
It does live forever.
All right, buddy. Well, Coach Mason, Coach Dash, we'll see you next time on All Hitches.
See ya.